tó ìbà lọ́wọ́ Elédùmarè ọba ògóògo ọba alápá kábíkábí alágbára lórí ohun gbogbo ọba tó lè ṣe ohun gbogbo ọba ajépọjọ gúdà ọlọ́run gbà ọlọ́run àná ọlọ́run ìní ọlọ́run ọ̀la ọba tí ó mọ bẹ títí láéláé ọba tí kìí kú tí kìí tí àìdíbàjẹ́ alásọtẹ́lẹ̀ ohun gbogbo ìbà rẹ o. Ìbà àwọn obìnrin àwọn akásọlérí mọ̀rẹ̀rù obìnrin bàǹbàǹ tán yànyàn ìbà yín o ẹ̀yin arúgbó aṣọ mọ́balẹ̀ láàlú ògiri òkú dọwọ́ rẹ ilẹ̀ ọ̀gẹ́rẹ́ ó dọwọ́ rẹ o wọ́n jà ṣèọ́tẹ̀ wọ́n jà tójú ilẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ mọ́jà kẹ́gbọ́n ayé ogún wọn lẹ́sẹ̀ mọ́jà jẹ̀sọ́fì àwọn àgbàlagbà aṣọ ọ̀ka ènìyàn mọ́jà bá wọn tẹ̀ ẹni tá a wàá sẹ̀ tá a bẹ̀ tí ò ní gbà Elédùmarè ó dọwọ́ rẹ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá dọwọ́ rẹ o. Lánàá a sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwọn ọmọ tí ìyá wọn tí wọ́n jí ìyá wọn gbé ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn wà touching gan mo ti rí èèyàn mẹ́rin tó fídíò yẹn tí wọ́n dẹ̀ ń bọmi lójú tí wọ́n pè mí because kò easy kéèyàn ó gbọ́ pé wọ́n na ìyá tó bí yàn kẹ́ni yẹn wá lérò re sírò orílẹ̀-èdè tírú nǹkan yẹn ti ṣẹlẹ̀ tàbí kó lérò re sírú ìran tí kìíní yẹn tó jẹ́ particular concern. Ibi táwa lọ lónìí nínú ìròyìn wa tòní òun ni ọ̀rọ̀ taxation. Ẹni tó bá ní kò kàn òun kò tí ì kàn ni tó bá lọ kẹni tí ó kàn yóò mọ̀ pé kò dẹrùn lórílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Mo rí ìfọ̀rọ̀wérọ̀ kan tẹ́nìkan ṣàlàyé fẹ́nìkan pé ní orílẹ̀-èdè yìí àwọn èèyàn mọ bó ti rí ni ìyà ń jẹ àwọn èèyàn Nàìjíríà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. I'm telling you this. Kò sí ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀, insecurity ni ọ̀rọ̀ jíjẹ mímu kò sílẹ̀ tó mú rọrùn wá. Àwọn èèyàn kan sáà ń gbìyànjú láti forí tì láti faradà pé yóò da ọjọ́ kan. Bọ̀ lábẹ́ bí tí ò kó rí báwọn èèyàn wá ń forí tì yẹn ìjọba ò tí ì mú èrò kankan wá tó jẹ́ ètò tí yóò mú ìgbà dẹrùn faraàlú. Kò sí tí èmi in particular tí mo fi go against ìjọba tí bàbá Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu ń ràn lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nìyẹn. Tí bó ti pàṣàmọ̀ láìmọye ìgbà tẹ bá ní àáṣe nǹkan báyìí fẹ́yìn aráàlú ìgbà ó dẹrùn fún yín ṣùgbọ́n kígbà ó tó dẹrùn fún yín ibi tá gbà kọjá rèé o àdéhùn ní everybody ó mọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n ká ti tànyàn síwájú kẹ́ wá tọwọ́ àwọn èèyàn bọ́ sọ lọ tán ká mọ wá ṣe wàhálà kẹ́ wá kọ etí ọ̀gbẹ́yìn kẹsì bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé ẹ̀gbọ́n táráàlú ń sọ mọ́. Èyí jẹ́ kan tó bà ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn nínú jẹ́ tó jẹ́ káwọn èèyàn wà disappointed nínú ìjọba yín. Ìjọba yín ò láàánú kò ní ọkàn béèyàn ṣe máa ń wò pé pé gbogbo tẹ́rí tí mò ń ṣe yẹn o mi ò ṣe látàrí pé kí a lè bá jẹ yín mò ń ṣe látàrí kó lè bá dáa ni kò sọ̀rọ̀ tó ń wáyé lórí ẹ̀ torí pé ojoojúmọ́ là ń rí táwọn èèyàn sì ń rí owó jíkó nínú ìjọba yìí. Ní Arise TV mo rí tán gbé caption kan jáde pé over 210 trillion ló sọnù ní ọwọ́ NNPC láti 2017 bí 2019 or thereabout. Tówó yìí ti miss tí ó ní NNPC òrówó yìí àkáǹtì fún 210 trillion. Owó yìí solve gbogbo problem tí Nàìjíríà ti encounter láti over 35 years. Tí àwa tá a jọmọ ìlú ìbá ń fetí ara wa gbọ́ pé irú owó báyìí wà lọ́wọ́ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí láàrin bí ọdún mẹ́wàá sẹ́yìn 210 trillion wà nínú orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ara dẹ̀ ni àwọn èèyàn dé level tó dé yìí. Ìjọba kan wá tó sọ fún wa pé ìnira yóò continue. Kò sẹ́ ẹ̀dá náà láyé tí ó nígbà gbọ́ nínú ẹnì kankan tí bá ń wá síwájú wọn wípé òun fẹ́ ṣètò tó bá yá ẹ̀yin olóṣèlú àánú yín kàn ṣe mí ni àánú abiyamọ ṣe mí lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yín. èyí ó máa lọ títí bá kò sì ní lè pera rẹ̀ lólóṣèlú torí ẹ̀rù ẹ̀mí rẹ̀ ó máa bà á ń bọ̀ ń bẹ̀ ẹ máa rò pé nàìjíríà tó bá àwọn èèyàn dákẹ́ ń bí pé nàìjíríà wo ẹ bá ti yan wọ́n jẹ́ wọn ò ní sọ̀rọ̀. bàbá Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu ló mọ bí ṣe ń ra gbogbo àwọn èèyàn lẹ́yẹ kọ̀ọ̀kan òun ló mọ̀ mo mọ ẹni tá a mọ̀ dáadáa ni tó o bá ṣọ́ra tí ìjọba APC bá pa ìyá èèyàn wàhálà àwọn ọmọ tán lè ṣe tó pé ọ̀ ní ìjà lórí ikú ìyá rẹ̀ níbi tí wọ́n dájú dé wọn ó bá tiẹ̀ jẹ́ débẹ̀ tó pé ọ̀ ní lè béèrè ikú tó pa ìyá tó bí ọ kẹ́lẹ́ mọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀dá tí àwọn tá à ń bá dì lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ bọ́ ti rí nù kò sáànú. ṣùgbọ́n kí ni mo fẹ́ fàyọ gangan tó jẹ́ kókó inú ìwé ìròyìn tòní ọ̀rọ̀ táàsì délẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ gazette or no gazette ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ní House of Assembly wípé ọ̀tọ̀ ni tí wọ́n kọ́ sínú kíní wá ọ̀tọ̀ ni gazette tó gbé jáde fáwọn àwọn náà ṣàṣìlẹ̀ wọn pé eléyìí náà ó yẹ ká yọjọ́ pò sọ ni wọ́n tẹ̀ jẹ́ pé àwọn náà kì í ṣe pé wọ́n ń gbèjà aráàlú ṣùgbọ́n bó o lẹ́ ṣe pín tan kinní kan tí kinní kan ò ní kan lágbájá òun ni táwọn ń jà fún ẹ lè rí èèyàn tó wà ní assembly ní Nàìjíríà lórí sọ́ọ̀lì Nàìjíríà yìí tí ì ṣe pé ń jà fún bórí òkèlè tiẹ̀ ó ṣe pọ́n ẹ lè rí eléyìí tó bá lọ ń jà fáráàlú bẹ́ẹ̀ níjọ́ tẹ́ bá ti rí táwọn bá ń ṣàráàlú in tí wọ́n ṣe policy tí wọ́n make your favour wọn nìyẹn lẹ́ẹ̀fì rí wọn tí wọ́n máa jà fáráàlú gbogbo eréyà yìí ló yẹ káwa aráàlú wá wò bọ́ ibi tí mò ń lọ gangan lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tax mò ń sọ kankan ní gbogbo ìgbà tọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn kẹtí sí tí bàbá Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu bá fọ́ sí wa torí mo mọ̀ pé ó gbọ́n gan kò sẹ́ni tó gbọ́n tó lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí mo wọ́n sọ fún àwọn èèyàn believe ó gbọ́n gan bó ṣe lọ tó kúrò lábúrò ní Nàìjíríà tó lọ tó padà dé yẹn ọgbọ́n tuntun míì tí wọ́n tún lò ní orílẹ̀‐èdè yìí tí wọ́n máa jẹyìn tẹ́ ẹ̀ nílé sọ̀rọ̀ ni wọ́n tún lọ dá ó gbọ́n gan wọ́n sì ní Yorùbá sọ kinní kan sùúrù tó lọ́jọ́ ni àbùkù ti kàn án gbogbo sùúrù ní ayé tó bá ti lọ́jọ́ pé ọjọ́ ní sùúrù ìbọdún mẹ́jọ náà ni ó lò ẹ ní sùúrù fún àbùkù kan ọdún mẹ́jọ yẹn àbùkù ti kàn án ṣùgbọ́n kankan tí mo kẹ́ fáwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà lọ prepare fún tí irú bàbá Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu ò bá tẹ̀ wá ṣe dáadáa pàápàá nítorí tọlọ́run ọba ṣé irú Àtíkù àbóbilà tẹ̀lé ọ̀rọ̀ gidi lọ̀rọ̀ tí mo mú wáyé o mo fẹ́ kẹ́ lọ yiri ẹ̀ wò ẹ lọ yiri ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń sọ yìí wò dáadáa torí ní Nàìjíríà mo rí pa àti bọ́ há sínú kòtò ọ̀run àbí kòtò ayé dẹ̀ ni àti bọ́ há gidi Tinubu ta gbẹ́kẹ̀lé pé yóò ṣe dáadáa ní ṣe rádaràdán yìí ṣàtìkù tá a ti mọ̀ pé èèyàn rádaràdán ni sóun là wà á tẹ̀lé láti gbẹ́rù Nàìjíríà lé lọ́wọ́ àbí Òbí tá a mọ̀ pé ńgbà tí èyí ti ṣe gé irọ́ ní pa sáwọn tá a tẹ̀lé rèé torí ẹ̀ mo fi ń jẹ́ kẹ́ máa mọ̀ gbogbo ìgbà pé kò sí ti ń jẹ́ Nàìjíríà irọ́ orí irọ́ là ń tọ̀ àwọn kan wà nù wa tó yẹ pé wọ́n wà gọ́líbù àwọn tó wà gọ́líbù yẹn àwọn náà wọ́n ń kó gbogbo àwa ẹ̀dá yòókù náà ń kó wa ṣìnà lójoojúmọ́ àwọn wọn fi àgọ́ tiwọn wọ́n máa fi tì wá lọ sọ́dọ̀ Àtíkù àbí Òbí pé tá a bá tẹ̀ wá ti ṣe ti Tinubu ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe tàtíkù ṣàtíkù sọmọlúàbí èèyàn ni iná tí mò ń lò lọ ìdí ẹ̀ rèé tí mo fi wá sọ pé àwọn ni wọ́n ń dráàgì wa wọ ibi tá a fẹ́ ṣàtíkù láṣẹ tiẹ̀ àbí Òbí tá a mọ̀ pé òpùrọ́ ni tí ń parọ́ tà lójoojúmọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tax ẹ lọ wo nǹkan tó ń sọ pẹ̀lú táàsì nígbà tá àwọn èèyàn wá jà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ táàsì tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe reform tó fẹ́ ṣe pé lórí owó income tó bá ní lọ́dún wọ́n máa charge 25%, 20%, sorry. Eventually wọ́n wá kọ síbẹ̀ pé fake news pé wọ́n ti cancel yẹn but now lórí transaction ẹ bá ṣe ní bank 7.5% VAT wọ́n máa charge ẹ̀ lórí stamp duty. Orí yẹn la wá wà. Orí yẹn la wà. Ìyẹn dáa gan, ó sunwọ̀n gan. Ìjọba lówó, kò sọgbọ́n tá fẹ́ dá, wọn ò rí owó. Bó ẹ bèrè lọ bàbá Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu tó sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé kí ni wọ́n fẹ́ fi owó yìí ṣe fún, kí ni ó jẹ́ benefit aráàlú, torí wọn ò sọ ohun tí wọ́n ṣe fáráàlú o. Owó táwọn fẹ́ gbà làwọn ń sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. Ibi tí wàhálà wà nìyẹn, tí mo ti ń rí foul play nínú kìíní. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n fún yín ní fídíò analysis woman kan. Ẹ jẹ́ gbé woman yẹn wá kó wọlé kó fún yín ní ètò lórí bí VAT yẹn ṣe fẹ́ lọ. Kẹ́ lè bá understand ẹ̀ dáadáa.
7.5 VAT will now make banking motion expensive. So much has been happening around this tax issue, and this has created widespread uncertainty. Now, we are being told that from 19th of January, 7.5% VAT will be taken on bank transactions. So in practice, this means that a single bank transfer now attracts bank fees, VAT, and statutory levies, all on money that has already been taxed. But the truth is even more disturbing than that. So let me explain what banking in Nigeria actually looks like. Now we're going to create a scenario. You have a bank account with a balance of 100,000. You want to transfer 50,000 to someone or to yourself. And just before you're about to do that, 4 invisible hands get into your pocket. The first is NIP. This is what bank charge for using their national payment rail. So this goes to the bank. CBN allows bank to do this. 10 naira for small transfers, 25 naira for medium transfers, and 50 naira for 50,000 and above. So your bank now takes 50 naira from you. So the next is VAT, 7.5%. Nigeria taxes the fee, not your own money. So this is what happens for this VAT, and this is where the controversy is. 7.5 of 50 naira is going to be taken from your money. Now, this is another controversy, but let's proceed. So this 7.5% VAT is now calculated from the bank charge of 50 naira, which is 3 naira 75 kobo. And this 3 naira 75 kobo is now deducted from you. And so the government tried to create a scenario where they make you believe that the VAT is being charged to the bank, not you. No. The VAT is being charged based on the bank percentage, but deducted from your account. So 50 naira now becomes 53 naira 75 kobo. The next one now is stamp duty. So if your transfer is 10,000 or more, the government takes 50 naira flat, no percentage. So this is a federal tax, not bank. So from that your 50,000 naira transfer, you now have bank transfer fee of 50 naira, VAT on the fee, 3 naira 75 kobo, stamp duty, 50 naira. So for the 50,000 naira transfer, you have 103 naira 75 kobo. So you've just paid 103 naira 75 kobo just to press the button transfer. And the second one is the ATM. So you go to the ATM to withdraw cash. Your bank ATM is free. Another bank's ATM, CBN says 100 naira per 20,000 naira plus VAT. So you withdraw 40,000 naira from a bank ATM, which is not yours. So the charges you get is ATM fee 200 naira, 7.5% VAT on 200 naira is 15 naira. So for 40,000 naira withdrawal, you are charged 215 naira. So the third thing is every quarter, your debit card quietly bleeds. CBN allows 50 naira card maintenance fee plus VAT. So 53 naira 75 kobo is taken from your account every quarter. So every charge you see is taxed again. Now they say not on your money, but the fees on your money. Now tell me whose money is the fees on? And that becomes your money. So they don't tax your wealth, they don't tax your profit, they tax your movements. And this is where Nigerians have the right to feel cheated. So even though the system pretends this is legal, but let's unpack it slowly. This is double taxation. This is what it is. You've already paid tax on this money. Let's say you earned this money in your company. So before the money touched you, company income tax was paid, or payee was deducted, or withholding tax was taken. So this 50,000 naira is clean. It is a tax income. You simply want to transfer it. Let's say from your company account or your salary account to your personal account. There is no sale, there is no income, just movement. But Nigeria now says movement is also taxable. So they apply charge. NIP, bank, VAT on NIP, federal government, stamp duty, federal government, on money that was already taxed when earned. Now, that is double taxation. Legally, the government will say, no, this is a tax on services, not on income. But economically, you've been taxed twice on the same naira. And that is why the people feel strangled. Income is taxed, spending is taxed, moving is taxed, saving is taxed. There is no safe space for money. You pay company tax, pay VAT on sales, pay payee on salary, pay withholding tax, then bank charges, VAT, stamp duty, just to move your own money to yourself. And that is the uncomfortable truth. So even when businesses are dying, the government still benefits because money is still being moved. But an economy cannot survive on fear. When people become too afraid to touch their own money, they stop trusting the system. And when trust collapses, no tax policy can rescue the economy. It is a truth at a time. Take care and have a nice day.
depression wà láàrin ìlú fáwọn èèyàn, depression wà gan, everybody kan sáà manage ara ẹ̀ ni pé káwọn sáà fi survive. Ẹni tó lówó lọ́wọ́ gan business wọn ẹ̀rù ń bà wọn kó má collapse pẹ̀lú policy yín lóríṣiríṣiríṣiríṣi. Ara ni ìlú o, òdodo ọ̀rọ̀ mo sọ fún ilé ní bàbá, ara ni ìlú yìí gidi gan, ara ni ìlú yìí tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́la orílẹ̀-èdè yìí kò sẹ́dá tó lè sọ, ó lè lead to anything. Tẹ bá rò pé gbogbo ẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀rí káàpù, kì í ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ náà lẹ́ẹ̀rí gbámú o. Tó bá lọ, tẹ bá lẹ́mu lórí, tó bá lọ bọ́ látẹ̀yìn yóò léwu, torí ẹ̀ la fẹ́ ń pariwo fún yín ní gbogbo ìgbà. Ẹ wá nǹkan kan tí ó mú ìdẹ̀rùn bá àárín ìlú, ìdẹ̀rùn, iná, write off, ọ̀nà zero, gbogbo nǹkan pure kò dáa, ẹ rí kankan ṣe. Ìdí nìyẹn ló máa wá gbogbo ìgbà tá a fẹ́ ń pariwo, ẹ rí kankan ṣe. Ọdún mẹ́rin dẹ̀ ti pé, ọdún mẹ́rin ti pé báyìí. Gbàtà fi di June sí ẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ primary, ẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ campaign. Ó bá fi di June sí campaign máa bẹ̀rẹ̀. Tí campaign bá wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ 2026, kí lẹ fẹ́ sọ fún wa tẹ́ fi campaign fún wa pé ẹ ti ṣe? Kí lẹ sọ fáráàlú pé ẹ ṣe tẹ́ fi deserve second term? Ibi tí problem wà nìyẹn tá à ń sọ fún yín tẹ́ gbà. Ẹ gbọ́ nǹkan tó bọ̀bọ̀ yìí sọ pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ Táíwò Oyèdélé tẹ́ ẹ lò as tax moderator àbí náà orúkọ wọn. Ẹ gbọ́ nǹkan tó sọ.
When we tell people to stay away from Bola Ahmed Tinubu and anything that has to do with him, some of you will think that we are just trying to be unnecessarily petty. The latest victim of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's calisthenics, shenanigans, rhetorics, propaganda, and all of the nonsense happening in his government is Taiwo Oyedele. Of course, you know Taiwo Oyedele to being the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms. He has prided himself as being somebody that has produced the tax law or 4 tax bills that would, in his own words, save the poor and tax the rich. Recently, he's been in the news for all sorts. But very recently, a couple of days ago, Daily Trust reported that federal government has paused the tax laws guidelines, yes, and cite some uncertainty. Taiwo Oyedele rushed to Twitter to go and declare it fake news and reposted it and said it was fake news. Of course, Daily Trust, not being a propagandist company, went on to deliver their own facts and buttress their point or substantiate whatever they meant. And they released a video. The video has now furthermore shaken the entirety of the tax regime, and it has exposed the Bola Ahmed Tinubu, messed up the National Assembly, and furthermore put Taiwo Idele to be in bad light. Take a look at the video.
When people said there were alterations in the law, and I said, I just hope that someone somewhere with the right authority will use the opportunity of this allegation of alteration to the tax law to look for the fire and put it out rather than chasing the smoke. 3 senior advocates of Nigeria, including a former NBA president, said to me that there are 3 versions of the Constitution. So this is a problem with the process. Quality assurance, accountability, let's fix it. And the question is, they haven't even issued all these guidelines. That is true. Our plan in an ideal world was for all these regulations, guidelines, public notices to be ready like 3 months before December, because we want people to give their feedback, debate it, finalize, and gazette. But in our real world, it did not happen like that. And as I speak to you today, we have more than 40 regulations, guidelines, and public notices that have been finalized. But we can't release a single one of them because we're still waiting for what is the final version of the Gazette. You know why? Because the Authentication Act says whatever the government printer publishes is the evidence of the law that was passed. That government printer published something which we shared, and we said this is the official version. Lawmakers said it's not what they passed. So they said they would do their own gazette. They set up their committee, they did their own review, they did their own gazette. They sent me a copy, soft copy. But that's not what the Authentication Act says. So I sent my staff, go to government printer and go and buy. They went there as of last week, they said it's not ready, that they should wait. So I also told everybody, the NRS, GRB, you to wait, because we can't issue guidelines when we are not 100% certain that this is the final official position. I called my staff this morning, I said, go back there, be following up every day, go there, don't call them, go and sit down there. And I got feedback as I was here that says that, I don't even know whether I should say this or not because I don't know what the press will report. But in the interest of accountability and transparency, so my staff told me that they said everything that they printed, the National Assembly collected from them and said they shouldn't sell to anyone, that they want to complete their review. While that is good, it also creates the uncertainty again. So, in other words, what I'll say to you is the explanation we have provided about the law, because all this issue of they've altered, they've not altered, it's not even a lot. There are few items that shouldn't affect the main thing that people need to, nothing about the tax rate, about the tax burden, the filing deadline. So, but this is the best I can say to you as we speak. Hopefully we can get over this sooner rather than later. Thank you.
It is unfortunate that a professor of Babcock University that has an adjunct faculty in University of Lagos and a visiting scholar of the Lagos Business School, a man that has several years, spent decades in this industry. He spent 21 of his astute experience in PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers International, Waterhouse-Coopers International, one of the top 4, a multinational professional service company, and respected as one of the top 4 accounting firms in the world, with Deloitte, EY, KPMG. That's where Oyedele is coming from. But Bola Ahmed Tinubu has rubbished him. Go and check his profile. One of the reasons why some of us gave attention to this particular conversation of tax was the personality of who Taiwo Oyedele is. Check him up. But you see, just like classic Tinubu, he brings you, you know that he drags you from your high horse, from wherever you are, and brings you down and rubbishes you. Any Any smart person will avoid Tinubu like a plague. Invitation letter of Tinubu to working with him is an embarrassment. Is going to be your ultimate doom. Go ask Fela Durotoyi. Ask a couple of these guys that are well. Have you heard of Tokpe Faswa? You know Tokpe? In 2019, Tokpe one of the smartest Nigerians to listen to. It built up to that election, even if he wasn't going to win it. You will hear somebody with a sound mind today. Tokpe is a shadow of himself. Tinubu, he will turn you from a human being to a mosquito. You see that Bible verse in John 10:10 that the thief cometh to kill, to steal. That's Tinubu's classically. To kill, to steal, and to destroy. He came to kill, to steal, and to destroy your reputation, your brand, your character, and whatever you have used years to build. Look at Taiwo. You are going to publicly. You are confused. Look at the world in Nigerian political scene has turned a professor to. Fine English, soft-spoken, but he has made him become a laughing stock for politicians who are trying to settle political scores, who are not open about their intentions. Somebody even said that the man is a pastor. I couldn't see that anywhere, but I could assume because he goes to just maybe look at the SEC guy. When the SEC guy was appointed, somebody called me from the Redeemed Christian, a senior pastor, and said, "You don't know this guy. Give him some time. He's a man." I said, "I know Tinubu. Even if I don't know this guy, but I know Tinubu." Today, I call the guy, not the picker. How far now? You want to do zaga. Kirila. If you are smart, stay away. This government, because what they tell is even for what they want to do. And for the records, technically, it means that we are still operating the old laws. The new law, the gazetting, you heard all of the explanation. So the new law is not anybody asking to pay VAT, to pay anything, anybody trying to implement the new tax policies, tell them to their face, send them this video. There is a lie.
ìdí rèé ṣe gbọ́n nǹkan tọ́mọ Yíbò yẹn sọ ó lé àwọn èèyàn ò trust yín pé tẹ́ ẹ bá lóyàn ẹ lo ẹni yẹn ẹ fi ṣàgbó tó bá yá ẹ̀yin lẹ́lẹ́ padà dẹ́ntì méje nìyẹn ó ní kán wo Wike kán wo bàbá Táíwò Oyèdélé ó ní kán wo bàbá Káyọ̀dé tó wà ní EFCC ó dárúkọ so many people ẹ̀yin náà wò bàbá tó ìrìnàjò dọwọ́ yín àwa ò ní sọ jù báyìí lọ lónìí lórí ìkànnì yìí títí tá a fi mọ mákọ̀tọ̀ ètò mẹ́wàá èmi ti yín tòótọ́ bàbá àṣà